Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Mark Roden, and today I am back. I took like 2 days off last week, so you guys haven't seen me in like 4 days now. I was sick. I thought it was a flu at first, but it wasn't. I don't know what it was. I was sick though. I couldn't do it. But that did give me time to finish Game of Thrones. So I watched out Game of Thrones. If you guys have never watched Game of Thrones, you need to watch it. If you like Skyrim, The Witcher, Dark Souls, like that style of era and like that kind of fighting, like sword fighting and medieval times and all that, you will love Game of Thrones. I just want to put that out there. I mean, obviously, everybody's already said Game of Thrones is a great show, but if they didn't change your mind, let me change your mind. Watch that show. It is amazing. I just finished it, and the ending is horrible, like everybody says, but the rest of the show is great. But either way, over 80% of you guys are not subscribed to the channel, so it really would mean a lot if you hit that subscribe button. You don't have to. It's completely up to you. But if you want to, you know, support your boy, hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, though, let's get right into the video with number 15. All right, so coming in at number 15 is going to the Smart ForTwo. Obviously, I want to get this out of the way real quick. There is a lot of cheat codes here. Yes, these are like my 15 favorite K cars. But what I mean by K cars is more just like micro cars. Like if the Smart ForTwo was in Japan, it would be, I feel like it would most likely be classified as a K car, but I feel like you guys understand. I don't have to really explain that to you, but just in case anybody was wondering why, there are going to be some cars on here which aren't technically a K car, they're just small cars, and that's the reason why. Either way, the ForTwo comes with a 900cc inline 3, making 86 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Not much special about this ForTwo. It's a funny car. I've seen some funny builds with it. People like put it into a monster truck, and that's pretty cool. It's more of just a meme car, though, and that's pretty much all K cars, to be honest, but it's just a little special. Coming in at 14 is going to the Subaru 360. The Subaru 360 is actually a very important car in the K car history because it's one of the first ever K cars to ever be produced, which is really cool. They come with a 360cc H2, so it's a flat 2, which is wild. It makes 36 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. Yeah, 36 horsepower. By the way, don't expect there to be a single car on this list with over 100 horsepower. There's not. They're all hilariously slow, but they're also hilariously tiny, so they don't really need that much horsepower. But yeah, the Subaru 360, it isn't super special looking or anything like that, but it's just, it's one of the first, and you gotta respect the elders. Also, there's one of these actually parked at like a dealership in my town, and it's pretty cool. Coming in at 13 is going to the Suzuki Carry. The Suzuki Carry is probably one of the most famous K cars for sure. People know all about these little mini Japanese pickup trucks, and they're really cool. They come with a 1.5 liter inline 4, making 95 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. That's actually pretty decent, but there's also tons of different generations of a Suzuki Carry, all with different horsepower ratings, so keep that in mind. But they're just such a cool little vehicle. Like by the way, the background footage for this is going to be of a video game, Suzuki drifting. I couldn't find any good videos of just like the actual truck itself, so that's why, but you guys get the idea. But the Carry is just such a helpful K car. Like it's not anything special, but it's just there to help you, and I love that. Coming in at the number 12 spot is going to the Fiat 500 Classic. You could honestly even say the Fiat 500 modern one is should classify as a K car, but either way, I'm gonna go with the Classic one. I like it a lot better. Obviously, it comes with a 500cc inline 2. It makes 18 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. It's actually one of the slowest vehicles on this list. And for those that are about to say, that's not a K car, bro, it was built in Italy. I feel like a K car doesn't have to be built in Japan in order for it to be a K car. Like, I could be wrong, and this could definitely be one of the ones that you can say, like, isn't a K car, and I would understand if you say it's not. But in my opinion, it is. That's why it's on the list. And it's Luigi, okay, from Cars. Him and Guido, goated characters. Coming in at number 11 is going to the BMW Isetta. I feel like with the Isetta, you either love or hate it. I'm one of the people that love it. I think it's just such a unique BMW out there, and like no other BMW has ever been built like the Isetta was built, and it's just interesting. They come with a 300cc inline 2, making 13 horsepower, and to be honest with you, I don't even know what wheel moves. It could be the back wheels, it could be the front wheels. By the way, for everybody that thinks the Isetta is a 3-wheeler, you're wrong. It has 4 wheels. It's just the 2 wheels in the back are super close to each other. Just wanted to put that out there. A lot of people seem to think that the rear wheels of the Isetta is just 1 wheel and it's a 3-wheeler, but that's not the case. But the Isetta is super unique. The whole front end opens up as the door, which is super cool. It's obviously one of the smallest vehicles on this list, one of the slowest vehicles on this list, and it's kind of saved BMW too, if you know the history of BMW. Coming in at the number 10 spot is going to the Suzuki Jimny LJ10. Again, the background footage for this is going to be literally RC cars that are built to look like a Suzuki Jimny. because there's no real cool videos of the Jimny LJ10 out there, so I hope you guys understand, but they look pretty similar. They come with a 540cc inline 3, making 35 horsepower, and it is a 4x4 actually, which is really cool. Not a lot of K cars are 4x4 vehicles, so that's definitely pretty unique. And this one's just so different than the rest that I had to put it here. Jimny is like the Jeep version of the K car world, and I love that for it. It's different. It's for a different kind of person, and it shows that no matter what kind of car you're looking for, there's a K car version of it. Coming in at number 9 is going to the first actual like sports car K car with the Honda S660. It obviously has 660cc inline 3. It makes 63 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. And once again, this is like one of the very first well, this is the very first car on this list that's like actually built to be a K car, but sporty, and I like that about it. There's a bunch. It's obviously a convertible. I feel like all K cars are pretty much convertibles, which is kind of weird to be honest, but it's a convertible. It looks decent. Definitely not my favorite looking, but it's one of the faster ones for sure. Like 63 horsepower for a K car. That's pretty good. Coming in at the number 8 spot is going to the Nissan Pao. This is another one that is actually sits at the dealership in my city. I see it all the time, and I love it. It is such a cool looking little car. I don't know what it is about it, but it is perfect. The lines, the way it flows, oh, it's just absolutely beautiful. It only comes with a 1-liter inline 4, making 51 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. But obviously, you're not buying a K car to go fast anyway, and you're kind of buying it for like the statement that it makes, and the Nissan Pao is a statement on top of a statement. Okay, it is just so different, even from the K car world. It looks like a little SUV almost, and I know it's not supposed to look like an SUV, but it looks like one, and I love that about it. Coming in at the number 7 spot is going to the biggest cheat code of this list for sure, with the Scion XB. The Scion XB, you could definitely 100% argue is not a K car, and I would 100% agree with you, honestly. It's not a K car. It's a micro car, but I'm putting it here because they're kind of the same thing, okay? It comes with a 2.4-liter inline 4, making 158 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Obviously, that's significantly faster than all the other cars on this list. Has a significantly bigger engine than all the other cars on this list. But in my opinion, it's a micro car. It's a small car. They're not, you know, a normal-sized vehicle. And it's on the list. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but it's here. You know, just act like it's a top 14. If you don't like the Scion XB, forget that I ever even mentioned it, and act like it's top 14. Coming in at the number 6 spot is going to the Daihatsu Copen. One of Daihatsu, in case you don't know, is like one of the biggest K car companies out there. I'm pretty sure they like only made K cars, to be honest. They just like never made like an actual car, but they made some bangers. Okay, the Copen is one of them. They come with a 1.3-liter inline 4, making 86 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. That's actually like the max amount of horsepower that a K car can have now, but back in the day it used to only be 64. But Daihatsu, you know, they saw that happen and they jumped right on it. The looks of the Copen are like an S660, but like more round and more like simple, and I kind of like it for that a lot, to be honest. And since it has a little bit more horsepower and it's a little bit more sporty looking, I put it a little bit higher. Coming in at number 5 is going to another little bit of a cheat code, but this is definitely a K car. I don't care what anybody says. It is a Mini Cooper Classic. They obviously have tons of different motors for them and tons of different horsepower because they were built for very long, but the one I'm talking about has a 1.1-liter inline 4, making 70 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. The Mini Cooper, sure, you could say it's not a K car because it wasn't built in Japan, but it checks all the boxes for a K car. It's small enough, it has a small enough engine, has a low enough horsepower. It's a K car, okay? And it was just used, the old classic Mini Coopers were used for everything. Every kind of motorsport, daily driving, anything that you could think of, these old Mini Coopers were used for. They were actually really good at rally racing, which is weird. They're just a legend in the car community for a reason, and I love them. Coming in at the number 4 spot is going to one of the more popular K cars for sure, with the Suzuki Cappuchino. The Suzuki Cappuchino it's doing its rounds recently. A lot of people are seeming to like these Cappuccinos. They kind of want them more and more, and I understand why. They're pretty decent cars. They come with a 660cc inline 3, making 64 horsepower, and it is rear wheel drive. Correct me if I'm wrong, but am I the only one that thinks the Cappuchino looks significantly similar to a Mazda Miata? Like, they look so much alike, and I don't know. But if you ever, there's a picture out there online, you guys have to look it up. It's of a Cappuchino parked next to a Miata, and it'll really show you how small these K cars actually are, because it's so much smaller than the Miata. And like, if you've ever been next to a Miata, you know how small those cars are, and the Cappuchino is like way smaller than it. It's wild how small these cars are. Coming in at 3rd place is going to the Mazda Autozam AZ1. Very popular K car. A lot of people would probably say this is their favorite K car, but to me, no. pal, it's not my favorite K car. It's third place, okay? It comes with a 660cc turbocharged inline 3, making 64 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive. The AZ1 was, I will give it this, it was very influential for the K car world. It had like those gull wing doors. It looked incredibly futuristic, looked very sporty, came with a turbocharger. I think it was the first K car to ever come with a turbocharger, actually. It really was pretty damn special, and I just can't get around the looks, though. I personally don't think the looks of the AZ1 are that great. Coming in at second place, however, is going to the Suzuki Alto Works. If the AZ1 was the influential car for the K cars, then the Alto Works was the car that started it all. It comes with an 800cc inline 3, making 64 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. Obviously, these last three cars have been 64 horsepower. The reason why is because they put a limit on it as to how much horsepower these cars could make, so that's why they have 64. But the Alto Works was the very first, besides every other car, very first K car to actually go the sporty route. The first car to ever be built that's a K car, but it's still fun to drive, and it's like a van. It's like a hatchback van thing that's fun to drive, looks cool. It's amazing. I love it. Literal honorable mention for a little car, going to the Volkswagen Beetle Classic. This one I put as an honorable mention because you can 100% argue that it's not a K car at all, and I would agree with you on that, so that's why I didn't want to put it on the actual list. But it comes with a 1.6 liter inline 4, making 47 horsepower, and it is front-wheel drive. It's not a K car, it's not, but it's another micro car, kind of like the Scion XB that we talked about earlier, and I love it. How could you not like the old Beetles? Okay, they're amazing little cars. They're air-cooled, everything about them are super sick, they look cool no matter what you do to them, they can be, the rear-engined, oh my god, they're amazing. But coming in at first place, my favorite K car of all time, I'm sure you guessed it, but it is the Honda Beat. I think the Honda Beat is incredibly underrated. Everybody talks about the Cappuchino, everybody talks about the Autozam, a decent amount of people talk about the Copen. Yeah, there are a decent amount of people that talk about the Beat too, but I feel like the Beat is one of the best of all time. In my opinion, it is the best of all time. And I feel like they just don't get enough love. They come with a 660cc inline 3, making 64 horsepower, and it is rear-wheel drive, once again utilizing that horsepower cap, and they're amazing. They're not anything super special compared to the Cappuchino, the Copen, or the S660. They're all kind of the same, you know, convertible sports cars that are incredibly small. But for some reason, something about the Honda Beat just does it for me. I think it's the headlights. I really like how the headlights like flow into the fender. They almost end at the fender, actually. And the front end looks so aggressive. They're lowered. It's a simple design, nothing super crazy over the top. I love the Honda Beat. I don't care what anybody says. The Honda Beat is a beautiful car. If they were cheap to buy in America, I would be buying a Honda Beat. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Once again, I want to say I'm very sorry for not uploading these past couple of days. I was sick. Don't know what with. Could have been the freaking flu. Could have been COVID. Could have been gonorrhea. I don't know. But I was sick, and it was not an enjoyable time. Either way, I am going to be back to uploading every day now, obviously. I'm not sick anymore. And at the top of the description is going to be the link to my other channel where I go over Grand Theft Auto Online content. And I'll even be uploading on there quite frequently too. So if you like GTA Online and you want to go check that out, I really appreciate it. You guys are kind of blowing that channel up, actually. It's doing pretty good recently. So that's very nice of you guys. So thank you very much. But either way, das vidanya. Have a nice night.